The massive circular chamber of the Galactic Council fell silent as the human representatives entered. The various alien species, some with multiple limbs, others with scales or feathers, watched with barely concealed disdain as 5 humans walked to the center of the chamber. Commander Alex Foster led the group, his military posture straight and confident, despite being surrounded by creatures from dozens of worlds. "So these are the humans," said High Counselor Xath, his translucent skin pulsing with bioluminescent patterns. "Smaller than I expected." Alex maintained his composure. This wasn't just any meeting. It was humanity's official introduction to the galactic community. After years of detecting strange signals and preparing for this moment, Earth's first diplomatic mission had finally arrived at the Council Station. "Representatives of Earth, we welcome you to the Galactic Council," Xath continued, his voice carrying through the chamber. "We have observed your world for some time and believe you are ready for limited integration." Alex stepped forward. "Thank you, High Counselor. We come seeking peaceful relations and knowledge exchange between equals." A ripple of amusement passed through the chamber. A reptilian counselor named Visk leaned forward, sharp teeth visible, as she spoke. "Equals? Your species has barely achieved rudimentary space travel. The Council has existed for 50,000 years. We offer you protected status, which is generous considering your development level." "Protected status?" asked Susan Bell, Earth's chief diplomat. "Could you clarify what that means?" Xath waved a 3-fingered hand dismissively. "You will receive technological guidance appropriate to your level. In exchange, Earth will provide resources and acknowledge Council authority in all interstellar matters." Alex and Susan exchanged concerned glances. This wasn't an invitation to join the galactic community. It was an offer of vassalage. With respect, Alex replied, "Earth is an independent world. We seek trade and diplomatic relations, not subordination." The council chamber erupted in murmurs. Xath's skin flashed with patterns that suggested irritation. "Commander Foster," he said, "you misunderstand your position. The Council does not request. We inform. Your world will be protected, your development guided, and your resources utilized for the greater benefit of galactic civilization." Susan stepped forward. "We must respectfully decline. Earth maintains its sovereignty." The chamber grew tense. Several counselors began arguing among themselves. Alex noticed some smaller species watching with unusual interest, as if Earth's defiance was something rare and fascinating. "This is not a negotiation," Xath finally declared. "You will return to Earth with our terms. Your leaders will accept them, or consequences will follow." Before Alex could respond, an aide rushed to Xath's side, whispering urgently. The High Counselor's bioluminescence pulsed with rapid patterns of alarm. "This meeting is suspended," Xath announced abruptly. "The humans will be escorted to their quarters." As they were led away, Alex turned to Susan. "What just happened?" "I don't know," she replied quietly, "but I don't like it." 3 hours later, they received the news. The Mars Research Outpost, humanity's first permanent settlement beyond Earth, had been attacked without warning. Initial reports indicated few survivors. The Raxan Imperium claims responsibility. Their alien liaison informed them coldly. They are a minor power and acted without Council approval. However, the Council notes that had Earth accepted protected status, our fleets would have prevented this unfortunate incident. Alex's hands clenched into fists. "This is blackmail. This is reality, Commander. The galaxy is dangerous for unaligned worlds." After the liaison left, Alex contacted Earth immediately. The response was swift and clear. All human representatives were to return home immediately. "They think we're helpless," Susan said quietly as they prepared to depart. "They have no idea what humanity is capable of." Alex nodded grimly. "They're about to find out." Dr. Samantha Reeves huddled in the small maintenance shaft, trying to control her breathing. The sounds of destruction echoed through the Mars Research Outpost. plasma fire, explosions, and the screams of her colleagues. Just hours ago, they had been conducting routine experiments on Martian soil samples. Now most of them were dead. Through a small ventilation grate, she watched alien soldiers move through the laboratory. The Raxan were insectoid beings with 4 arms and chitinous armor. They moved with military precision, destroying equipment and gathering data cores. "Search for survivors," ordered one Raxan, its mandibles clicking. "The Council wants specimens." Samantha covered her mouth to stifle a gasp. Specimens. Not prisoners. Specimens. The attack had come without warning. A fleet of Raxan ships had appeared in orbit, broadcasting a simple message. "Mars Outpost, you are now under Raxan authority. Resistance is futile." Minutes later, the bombardment began. Only Samantha and a handful of others had reached safety in time. She had watched through security feeds as her friends and colleagues were cut down or captured. 17 hours later, a stealth rescue ship from Earth extracted the survivors. As they departed Mars orbit, Samantha saw the outpost, humanity's pride and first foothold on another world, reduced to smoking ruins. Back on Earth, the response was immediate. Admiral John Martinez called an emergency meeting at Space Command Headquarters in Colorado. Military leaders and intelligence officers gathered around a large table, faces grim. "The attack was precise and calculated," said Intelligence Director Laura Green, displaying images of the Raxan fleet. "They knew exactly where to hit us." Admiral Martinez studied the images. Casualties: 43 dead, 17 captured, 8 survivors extracted. Laura replied, her voice tight. "The captured researchers are presumed alive, but their status is unknown." The room fell silent as the numbers sank in. Then Martinez spoke again. "What do we know about these Raxan?" Laura brought up new images. "They're a minor power within the Galactic Council structure, technologically advanced but not among the top-tier species. Our intelligence suggests they attacked us to curry favor with the Council leadership." "They think we're defenseless," said General Paul Jackson, his fist clenching on the table. "A primitive species they can bully to show their strength." Martinez nodded slowly. "What they don't know will be their undoing." He turned to the others. "Activate Protocol Omega. It's time to show our hand." Across the globe, hidden military installations hummed with activity. In an underground base beneath the Pacific Ocean, scientists and engineers worked frantically on weapons systems that had been developed in secret for decades. Dr. Samantha Reeves, still bearing the mental scars of what she'd witnessed, was brought to one such facility. She stood beside Admiral Martinez, watching technicians prepare advanced spacecraft that looked nothing like the primitive shuttles publicly known to exist. "The Raxan and the Council believe we're centuries behind them technologically," Martinez explained. "They have no idea we've been intercepting their transmissions for 50 years, reverse engineering their technology, while developing our own innovations." Samantha stared at the sleek, deadly vessels before her. "These aren't defensive ships." "No," Martinez agreed quietly. "They're not." In orbit around Jupiter, hidden from Earth telescopes and alien observation, a fleet of warships gathered. Each carried weapons that combined human ingenuity with adapted alien technology, a dangerous hybrid the Council races had never encountered. General Jackson addressed the assembled commanders through secure channels. "The Raxan and the Council believe they can attack us without consequences. They see Earth as primitive, weak, and ripe for exploitation. Our response will change that perception forever." The fleet commanders nodded grimly. Earth's retaliation was about to begin. Lieutenant Kate Wilson guided her stealth ship through the asteroid field at the edge of Raxan territory. The vessel, designated Shadowhawk, was invisible to conventional sensors. Its hull absorbed rather than reflected light, and its engines left no heat signature. On paper, such technology shouldn't exist on Earth for another century. "Passive scans active," whispered her co-pilot, Jack Rivera. "We're picking up significant activity around the third moon." Kate adjusted their course, moving closer to the Raxan military base. Her mission was simple: gather intelligence on Raxan capabilities before Earth launched its response. "Look at that," Jack said, pointing to the display. "Those are prison transports. Our people might be on board." Kate's jaw tightened. The 17 captured Mars researchers were part of why she had volunteered for this dangerous mission. If they were still alive, Earth would get them back. The Shadowhawk recorded everything: ship movements, defense systems, communication patterns. Most importantly, it confirmed what Earth's leaders suspected. The Raxan were technologically advanced but overconfident. Their security was focused on threats from other Council races, not from primitive humans. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Dr. Daniel Wright led a team of scientists making final adjustments to Earth's secret weapons. The massive underground complex in Antarctica hummed with activity as engineers tested systems that combined reverse-engineered alien technology with uniquely human innovations. The Council races rely too heavily on standard technologies, Daniel explained to Admiral Martinez during an inspection. They'd been using the same basic principles for thousands of years, just making incremental improvements. "And we've taken a different approach," Martinez said, staring at the sleek missiles before him. Daniel nodded. "Exactly. While they were watching our public space program and dismissing us as primitive, we were studying their leaked transmissions and developing hybrid technologies they've never considered." The pride of Earth's secret fleet was the adaptive shield system. Unlike standard energy barriers used by Council races, Earth's shields could analyze incoming weapons fire and adjust frequencies in microseconds. "They'll expect us to have stolen or copied their technology," Daniel said. "They won't expect us to have improved it." In Washington, D.C., the President met with Commander Alex Foster and the newly formed Earth Defense Council. The intelligence from Kate's stealth mission was being analyzed, and military units worldwide were on high alert. "We've confirmed something interesting," said Intelligence Director Laura Green. "The Council deliberately keeps younger species technologically dependent. They provide just enough advancement to make these worlds useful, but not enough for them to become truly independent." Alex wasn't surprised. That explains their reaction when we declined their protection. "There's more," Laura continued. "Several Council members privately objected to the Raxan attack, but were overruled. The galaxy isn't as united as they want us to believe." The President studied the reports before her. "Do we have confirmation about our captured people?" "Yes, Madam President. Lieutenant Wilson's mission confirmed they're being held at the Raxan military base on Terex 3. They're alive but being subjected to experimental procedures." The room fell silent. Then the President spoke firmly. "Initiate Operation Thunderbolt. Primary objective is the rescue of our people. Secondary objective is to demonstrate that Earth is not to be trifled with." Across the solar system, hidden Earth vessels moved into position. Weapons were armed, troops prepared, and rescue teams briefed. The ships displayed no markings, no identifiers, nothing that could be traced back to Earth if the mission failed. Lieutenant Kate Wilson, still in her stealth ship at the edge of Raxan space, received her new orders. She would guide the first wave of Earth's forces to their targets. "Ready for Phase 2, she confirmed over the secure channel. Then, more quietly to herself, "They have no idea what's coming." Captain Steve Lawrence stood on the bridge of the stealth carrier Defiance, watching the tactical display as his fleet approached Raxan space. 12 ships, each a marvel of hidden human ingenuity, moved in perfect formation. To any observer, they would appear as nothing more than random space debris. "All ships report ready, Captain," said his first officer, Maria Diaz. "Operation Thunderbolt is go." Steve nodded grimly. "Begin Phase 1. Launch ghost drones." Hundreds of small unmanned craft shot from the Earth ships, racing toward the Raxan defense network. These ghosts were simple decoys designed to confuse enemy sensors and draw fire. On the Raxan command base, alarms blared. "Multiple objects approaching defense grid," reported a Raxan officer, mandibles clicking nervously. Configuration unknown. The Raxan commander sneered. Probably asteroid fragments, but activate defenses as a precaution. The Raxan defense grid lit up, powerful energy weapons firing at the approaching drones. As they exploded, they released electromagnetic pulses that temporarily blinded Raxan sensors. "Now," ordered Steve Lawrence, "all ships, execute attack pattern Delta." The Earth fleet accelerated suddenly, their cloaking systems dropping as they entered attack formation. Before the Raxan could recover from their sensor blindness, the human vessels were already inside their defensive perimeter. "Impossible," shouted the Raxan commander as images of the Earth ships appeared on his screens. "Humans don't have this technology." The Defiance launched its first volley of missiles. Unlike conventional weapons, these contained adaptive warheads that adjusted to enemy shield frequencies on impact. The first Raxan destroyer's shields flashed briefly before collapsing completely. "Target their communication array," Steve ordered. "Cut them off from calling reinforcements." Maria nodded. Precision strike teams ready for deployment. While the space battle drew Raxan attention, smaller Earth vessels slipped through to the planet's surface. Lieutenant Kate Wilson led the rescue team, her stealth shuttle heading directly for the research facility where the human prisoners were held. "We have 20 minutes before they reorganize their defenses," Kate told her team. "Get in, get our people, get out." The Raxan were in chaos. They had expected humans to be primitives with basic weapons, not an advanced force that could penetrate their defenses with ease. Their military doctrine had no contingency for this scenario. In orbit, Steve Lawrence watched as the Raxan attempted to regroup. Their flagship, nearly twice the size of the Defiance, moved to engage. "They're charging their main cannon," Maria reported. Steve smiled slightly. "Deploy countermeasures." As the Raxan flagship fired its devastating energy beam, the Defiance released a cloud of reflective particles. The beam hit this cloud and scattered, parts of it reflecting back toward the Raxan vessel, and other parts harmlessly into space. "Fire disruptor torpedoes," Steve ordered. The torpedoes struck the Raxan flagship's engine section, not destroying it but disabling its ability to maneuver or generate power for weapons. On the planet's surface, Kate's team moved through the research facility with precision. They encountered resistance, but their advanced armor and weapons gave them the edge. They found the captured Earth scientists in a laboratory section, many connected to alien machines. "Get these devices off them," Kate ordered. "Medical team, prepare for emergency treatment." Throughout the Raxan system, the pattern repeated. Earth forces struck with surgical precision, disabling rather than destroying where possible. Their primary targets were military installations and ships, avoiding civilian areas entirely. In a nearby sector, observers from other council races watched in stunned silence. A representative from the Velaran hierarchy, the most powerful council species, contacted the High Council immediately. "The humans have technology that should be beyond them," the Velaran reported. "They are defeating the Raxan with minimal losses." High Councilor Xath stared at the incoming data in disbelief. "How is this possible? Their public space program is primitive." "They deceived us," another councilor replied simply. "And we underestimated them severely." Within 6 hours, Operation Thunderbolt was complete. The Raxan military was crippled, all human prisoners were rescued, and Earth's fleet was already withdrawing from the system. The message was clear. Earth was not the primitive world the Council had assumed. The Grand Chamber of the Galactic Council buzzed with tension as Ambassador Lisa Chen walked to the central platform. Unlike the previous human delegation, she came alone and without military escort. Her simple blue diplomatic uniform stood in stark contrast to the elaborate garments worn by the alien representatives. The chamber, designed to intimidate visitors with its massive scale and the elevated positions of council members, fell silent as Lisa took her place. High Councilor Xath's skin pulsed with angry patterns of bioluminescence. "The council recognizes the representative from Earth," Xath announced, his voice coldly formal. You come before us to answer for your unprovoked attack on the Raxan Imperium. Lisa's expression remained neutral as she placed a small device on the platform before her. It projected a holographic display visible to all council members. Before I address that charge, she said calmly, I would like to present evidence regarding the destruction of our Mars research outpost. A hologram showed detailed footage of the Raxan attack, the unprovoked bombardment, the execution of unarmed scientists, the capture and experimentation on human prisoners. Some council members shifted uncomfortably in their seats. The Raxan acted without council approval, interrupted Visk, the reptilian counselor. Their actions, while regrettable, do not justify Earth's disproportionate military response. Lisa tapped her device, changing the display. This is a communication between High Counselor Xath and the Raxan leadership, dated 3 days before the attack. The message played clearly for all to hear, Xath discussing how a demonstration of consequences might persuade Earth to accept protected status. Gasps and murmurs filled the chamber. Several counselors from smaller worlds looked openly shocked. This evidence is fabricated, Xath declared, though his skin patterns betrayed his discomfort. We have 17 similar communications, Lisa replied, each verified by multiple methods. The attack on our outpost was not a rogue action. It was approved, if not directly ordered, by elements within this council. The chamber erupted in arguments. Lisa waited patiently until Xath restored order. Even if these allegations were true, said a new voice, belonging to the Velaran representative, your response reveals a disturbing fact. Earth has developed military technology far beyond what you disclosed to the galactic community. This deception poses a security threat to all worlds. Lisa nodded slightly. Earth kept its capabilities private precisely because of attitudes like yours. We suspected that advanced worlds might see us as a threat rather than as potential allies. Your suspicions appear well-founded, the Velaran replied coolly. Earth comes today with 3 demands, Lisa continued. First, recognition of Earth as a sovereign and equal power, not a protected world. Second, reparations for the Mars attack, to be paid by both the Raxan and those council members who approved the action. Third, a full review of how the Council treats emerging species. The Council chamber fell into shocked silence. Never had a new species made demands of the Council. You are in no position to make demands, Xath finally said. The combined might of the Council races dwarfs your capabilities. Lisa smiled slightly. Perhaps. But consider this. If Earth, a world you thought primitive, could defeat the Raxans so decisively, what other surprises might we have? Are you certain of your assessment of our capabilities? The implied threat hung in the air. Several of the smaller council races were now watching Lisa with something approaching admiration. The council will need time to consider Earth's position, said the Velaran representative carefully. Of course, Lisa replied. Earth is patient, but be aware that we have sent the evidence of council involvement in the Mars attack to every world in the galaxy. The truth cannot be suppressed. As Lisa left the chamber, she noticed representatives from several smaller worlds trying to catch her attention. The Galactic Council was dividing before her eyes, between those who feared human potential and those who respected Earth's strength and principles. Outside the chamber, her aide waited with urgent news. Ambassador, we're receiving requests for private meetings from 12 worlds. They want to discuss alliances with Earth. Lisa nodded. As we expected, the real diplomatic work begins now. Major Eric Daniels stepped off his diplomatic shuttle onto the surface of Novan Prime, a lush green world circling a distant sun. A delegation of Novani waited to greet him. The aliens were humanoid but with silver skin and large, expressive eyes that reflected light like mirrors. Welcome, Earth representative, said their leader, a female named Silari. We take great risk in meeting you openly. Eric nodded respectfully. Earth appreciates your courage, Ambassador Silari. We believe this conversation is long overdue. The Novani led Eric to an underground chamber. safe from orbital surveillance. Representatives from 3 other species waited there: the insectoid Thren, the aquatic Morels, and the crystalline Centauri. All shared one thing in common. They were classified as protected species by the Galactic Council. "What happened with the Raxan has changed everything," Solari said as they gathered around a large table. "For centuries, we accepted the Council's claim that they were guiding our development for our own good. But you were watching Earth," Eric said. It wasn't a question. The Centauri representative, whose body shimmered with internal light, spoke in a musical voice. "Your world rejected protected status. Then you demonstrated technology that should have been beyond your reach. It made us question everything." Eric activated a holographic display showing detailed analyses of Council technology. Earth discovered something important. The Council doesn't guide development. They control it. The technology they share with protected worlds is deliberately limited. "We suspected as much," said the Thren representative, his antennae twitching with agitation. "But we lacked proof." "Now you have it," Eric replied. Earth intercepted Council communications for decades before making official contact. We developed our own technology in secret, combining what we learned with human innovation. The representatives exchanged glances. The Morel, floating in a water-filled environment suit, bubbled her response. "What does Earth propose?" "An alliance of equals," Eric said simply. "Sharing of knowledge without restrictions, mutual defense, and eventually reform of the galactic order." Back on Earth, similar conversations were happening on a dozen worlds. Earth had sent its best diplomats to every species classified as protected by the Council. The response was overwhelmingly positive. In orbit around Earth, Admiral Martinez watched the construction of additional defense platforms. Intelligence reports indicated the Velaran hierarchy was not taking Earth's defiance lightly. "They're moving their 7th Fleet to the Proxima sector," reported his aide, showing the latest reconnaissance images. "That puts them one jump away from our system." Martinez nodded grimly. "They're positioning for a show of force. Classic intimidation tactic." "Will it work?" the aide asked. Martinez smiled slightly. "They still don't understand humans very well, if they think it will." On Galactic Council headquarters, emergency sessions continued for days. The alliance forming around Earth was unprecedented. 7 protected worlds had already declared independence, citing Earth's example. High Counselor Xath faced the Velaran delegation with growing desperation. This rebellion must be crushed before it spreads further. The Velaran representative, a tall being with pearl-white skin and 6 arms, studied the latest reports. "The humans have united the discontented species. They offer these worlds technology without the restrictions we impose. Then we must make an example of Earth," Xath insisted. "A swift military action to demonstrate the consequences of defiance." The Velaran considered this, multiple eyes blinking in sequence. "Perhaps. Our analysis suggests Earth's capabilities, while impressive against the Raxan, cannot match our most advanced fleets. A precise strike could end this problem before it grows." Orders went out. Throughout Velaran space, warships began to mobilize. The largest military force seen in centuries prepared for what they expected to be a short, decisive campaign. On Novan Prime, Major Eric Daniels received the intelligence report from Earth. He showed it to the assembled representatives. "The Velaran are coming for Earth first," he said calmly. "They believe they can crush us and terrify the rest of you back into submission." Solari's silver face showed determination. "What will Earth do?" Eric's expression remained steady. "Exactly what they don't expect. We'll be ready, and we won't be alone." Across the newly formed alliance, preparations began. The Velaran hierarchy was about to discover that underestimating humans was the worst mistake they could make. The massive Velaran fleet emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the solar system. 300 warships, led by the dreadnought Eternal Dominion, moved toward Earth with confident precision. Their scanners swept the system, detecting Earth's orbital defenses. Primitive, said Fleet Commander Zorn, viewing the human installations on his display. They have some advanced technology, but nothing that can stand against our combined might. His second-in-command nodded. Their defeat of the Raxan was impressive but ultimately meaningless. The Raxan are weak. Zorn opened a communication channel to Earth. Attention humans. This is Fleet Commander Zorn of the Valoran hierarchy. Your defiance of Galactic Council authority ends today. Surrender immediately or face extinction. In Earth's orbital command center, Admiral Martinez received the message with a calm expression. Around him, officers monitored systems and maintained communication with Earth's hidden assets. Send our response, Martinez ordered. A simple message returned to the Valoran fleet. We decline your offer. Come and see why. Zorn laughed, the sound echoing across his bridge. Brave but foolish. Begin the attack. The Valoran ships launched their first assault, a wave of energy torpedoes designed to overwhelm Earth's defenses. To their surprise, the torpedoes detonated harmlessly against advanced shield systems that should have been beyond human capability. Before Zorn could order a second volley, sensors detected new energy signatures throughout the system. Multiple ships decloaking, shouted his sensor officer. They're everywhere. The Earth fleet appeared suddenly, not just human vessels, but ships from a dozen different protected worlds. They had been waiting in stealth formation, perfectly positioned to surround the Valoran force. Admiral Martinez opened a channel to all Allied ships. All vessels, execute Operation Freedom. Remember, disable when possible. We want to end this with minimal loss of life. The battle erupted across the solar system. Earth ships demonstrated tactics the Valoran had never encountered, using Jupiter's gravity to accelerate beyond conventional speeds, deploying holographic decoys indistinguishable from real vessels, and employing adaptive weapons that bypassed Valoran shields. Most shocking to the Valoran was the perfect coordination between the allied species. The Novani provided advanced targeting systems, the Thren deployed swarms of combat drones, and the Zentari ships projected defensive barriers that absorbed enemy fire. This is impossible, Zorn whispered as his proud fleet was systematically disabled. These species barely had spaceflight capabilities years ago. His second-in-command's voice was bitter. They were hiding their progress, just as the humans did. We've been deceived for decades. After just 3 hours, the battle was decidedly one-sided. 2/3 of the Valoran fleet was disabled or destroyed. The remainder, including Zorn's flagship, found themselves surrounded. Commander, said his tactical officer, we've lost our propulsion systems and weapons. We are defeated. For the first time in recorded history, a Valoran fleet surrendered. 1 week later, representatives from over 50 worlds gathered in a neutral location to discuss the future. Ambassador Lisa Chen led the Earth delegation, while Major Eric Daniels coordinated with the former protected species. The old council structure failed because it was built on deception and control. Lisa addressed the assembly. We propose something different. A galactic alliance where all species have equal voice, regardless of their technological development. To everyone's surprise, some former council races supported the proposal. Many had grown uncomfortable with the hierarchical system, but lacked the power to challenge it. Knowledge should be shared, not hoarded, said a Zentari representative. Innovation comes from diversity of thought. The Valoran representative, no longer arrogant but still proud, spoke carefully. My people have much to consider. Our assumptions about galactic order have been proven wrong. Over the following months, a new interstellar body formed. The Galactic Alliance established principles of sovereignty, knowledge sharing, and mutual defense. Earth, once considered primitive, became recognized as a leading voice in galactic affairs. Admiral Martinez stood with Lisa Chen on the observation deck of the new Alliance headquarters, watching ships from dozens of worlds come and go freely. Do you think it will last? Martinez asked. Lisa smiled. It will evolve, as all things must. But the days of deception and subjugation are over. all because we refused to accept the role they assigned us. Martinez reflected. That's humanity's greatest strength, Lisa replied. We never accept limitations imposed by others.